all but out, trying gamely to get back to his feet, but as Buddy said, he made one big mistake, and that was attacking from behind. Caught him while he was still going. Beautiful power slam by Mr. B. And Mr. B now, trying his man once again comes down with an elbow into the thoracic area of the back of one Paul Latham. Latham, who outweighs Brian by about 30 pounds, but it is Mr. B moving up on that second ring rope. Latham coming slowly back to his feet. Ooh! Mr. B caught him with a forearm, comes off the second rope, hooks the far leg, and much to the delight of the fans here at the Sportatorium, the unquestioned victor in this match is indeed Mr. B, Brian Blair. Well, welcome to Championship Wrestling 84. As I said, I'm Gordon Stoley, your host. With me is Buddy Colt. An outstanding opening match. We've got some great matches upcoming, including a very special interview with the Florida heavyweight champion, Jesse Barr.
Right, big matches tonight, of course, will be in Nassau. And headlining the card there, of course, will be one of the favorites in Nassau, Sweet Brown Sugar. And also, next week in Sarasota, December 8th. Don't forget, December 8th in Sarasota.
And, of course, Championship Wrestling returns to Tuesday night in Tampa at the Spartan Sports Center. That'll be coming up this coming Tuesday night after last Wednesday night's match.
One other thing, Gordon, I would like to mention. Since last week, I have had an opportunity to read your book quite thoroughly, and I have found that it gives a very, very interesting insight into professional wrestling.
Well, thank you very much, buddy. That is available now at all of the major bookstores. It's being distributed by Dodd Mead, and I appreciate your shot on that. Let's take a look again at Brian Blair in that situation that occurred with his man, Paul Latham. There you saw him coming off the second rope, using that forearm extremely effectively, hooking the far leg. And Mr. Latham, well, he was knocked into the next area code, no question about that. And we'll be back with more action here on Championship Wrestling in just a moment. Championship Wrestling does return to Miami Beach in the Miami Beach Convention Center this coming Wednesday night. Match time is 8 p.m. A fantastic night of wrestling, Wednesday, December 5th. It's a double main event night of wrestling. First of all, the U.S. Tag Team Championship goes on the line. Sweet Brown Sugar and Pistol Pez Watley facing Krusher, Kruschev, and Big Jim Neidhart. And in a lumberjack match, it'll be Dirty Dutch Mantel against the Saint. Jesse Barr against Mr. B in a challenge match. Mark and Jay Youngblood take on the Pretty Young Things. It'll be Mad Max against Rick McChord. King Cobra against Angelo Mosca Jr. All of this action this coming Wednesday night. Well, I want to take a moment right now to talk to Jay and Mark Youngblood. Here are two men who have really made their presence felt here in the state of Florida, but you're taking on two newcomers to the state, the Pretty Young Things.
That's right. You know, coming to Miami, I've been to 3 separate places here in Miami, and they've been very victorious for Jason and myself. Now we've got a newcomer team, the Pretty Young Things. Come as pretty as you want, because when you get in the ring, it's a different story. Tooth and nail time. So you just bring yourself and we'll just show you exactly how pretty you are.
You know, Gordon, Mark and I have been all over the world. When we were World Tag Team Champions, and we defended those belts against a lot of different teams. You know, we were against the Road Warriors and so on down the line. But now we're coming to Miami against this new team called Pretty Young Thing, PYT. You know, I don't know much about them, but I've heard about their background, and it's unblemished, Gordon, and they probably got, you know, probably the biggest line and list of wins under their belt for such a young tag team. Like Mark said, you guys come as pretty as you want. And you guys better be in shape when you get there. Because we're proving to the people in Miami that we're no pushovers, and we are world champion caliber. Remember that PYT 1 and 2.
It's all going to happen this coming Wednesday night, Miami Beach Convention Center. Make your plans. There you see them, the U.S. Tag Team Champions, a Cuban connection. Krusher, Khrushchev, and Big Jim Neidhart and the Saints. And they'll be going up against Rocky King and Mike Allen. One fall, a 10-minute time. And brother Neidhart and Khrushchev wasted no time. At the very onset, they charged the combination. So we've got a 4-way melee going on.
Well, they didn't wait for the bell. They didn't wait for anything. These Russians, along with this Cuban, these Saints, something really has to be done about them. They don't give their opponents a chance. Like Rocky King here, a well-conditioned young athlete, tries very hard, but he was attacking hard. Now, right here, here's Jim Neidhart just going in there, holding him. Both these men outweigh him by quite a bit. There's an advantage anyway, and Gordon, I don't know if something's going to have to be done about these Russians.
Well, they are invincible pair, apparently, and they just keep rolling roughshod over everyone. Rocky King, a young fellow with excellent muscular conformation and definition. And, boy, they doubled up on him coming off the rope. Did not allow the pin, referee Pat Tanaka. As Mike Allen came charging in there, Krusher Kruschev caught up with him. And they're not allowing these men any surcease whatsoever. Ooh. High into the air, then down the abdominal wall across the knee of Big Jim Neidhart. And Allen hurtled from the ring. And a front chancery now on Rocky King.
Well, you know, these men come over here to our country and they degrade our country, degrade our athletes. Right now, there's obvious they're not even trying to win this match. They just want to inflict pain and punishment. Well, here's Brian Blair just come out to check on Mike Allen.
Well, Blair taking a look at Mike Allen and trying to get Allen back to his feet. Meanwhile, Rocky King in trouble in the ring. And Rocky King hurtled from the ring at the same time.
It looks like they're challenging Brian Blair to come into the ring.
There, we got both of them out of the ring here, and well, they've opened the doorway here. They opened the door here, and the referee pushing Kruschev back outside the ring. So we got Brian Blair in the ring now. Beautiful swing over takedown by Brian Blair. A spin under that time. Another spin under by Brian Blair. Brian Blair has Neidhart up. A full body slam by Brian Blair. A full body slam on Kruschev.
There's Brian Blair. He is squared off. He is ready for both of them. He has both men in trouble. Like I said earlier, Brian Blair is one of the greatest wrestlers in this profession. And there is Krusher Kruschev just climbing out of the ring now. And right now, I believe Jim Neidhart has a lot of respect for Brian Blair. He has slowed down. This is immediate respect. Brian Blair has both of these men in trouble. And then the Saint right there at ringside is going ape. He's going bananas. He don't know what's happened to his team.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They invited Brian Blair in. And when Mr. B stepped through those ring ropes, he was ready for action. And he's proving it right now. Another hip lock takedown by Mr. B on Big Jim Neidhart.
Well, it looks like Krusher Kruschev and Jim Neidhart might have made a very bad mistake by inviting Brian Blair into the ring. Right now, they're dealing with one of the best. They're not dealing with Mike Allen now. They have got Mr. B himself in the ring. There's Brian Blair, Mr. B, cinching down on that side headlight. Jim Neidhart forcing him back into the rope. Well, there's Brian Blair outthinking him again, coming out on top. Very quick. Well, Jim Neidhart made a very smart move there. Brian could be in trouble now. Very smart move on the part of Mr. B.
Well, it's only a question of time. However, a team like this has got to catch up. And exposed as they tripped up by the Saint.
Well, there was a cheap shot by the Cuban connection.
Inside cradle. Referee called for it. He got the pin. He got the pin. Or did he? I can't tell at this point.
I don't know if that was a 2 or a 3. It seemed like Brian was kicking out.
He's got them both outside the ring. That was a count of 2. A count of 2.
Very good drop kick by Brian Blair. It forced Kruschev into Jim Neidhart.
Well, he got the pin that time, that's for sure. And we've got a situation here between Kruschev and Neidhart. And the Saint has really got his hands full here, trying to restore calm and order between Kruschev and Neidhart. And, well, we'll be back. We'll be back in just a moment. Barr, I must admit, has quite an impressive record since arriving here in the state of Florida and capturing the Florida Heavyweight Championship. But he said he has some special problems that he wants to get communicated to everybody. So, Mr. Barr has joined us now, and...
You know, Gordon, I had come out here because I have a few things I have to say today. The people, you know, the education system in Florida really must be pretty lousy, because I come out here week after week trying to talk to the people, and nobody seems to understand what I'm saying. Apparently, they're too ignorant. So I took my own time, and out of my own expense, I made me a visual aid so that they can follow step by step, and they can watch so they'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, all right, let's take a look at what he's referring to here. All right.
Oh, by the way, see my glasses? Rick brought them back from France. They look pretty nice, don't they?
Rick?
Yeah, you know, Rick Blair, my partner. You know, we talk every day. He asks me if I need anything or anything. Well, getting back to what I was talking about, maybe this chart, as you would, will help the ignorant people understand what I'm talking about. You see this here? Jesse's victims? Well, anybody can see what that means. What it means is all the people that have tried to get what I have, and that's the Florida heavyweight title. First of all is the guy that I took it from, who I don't know how he ever became champion, because I beat him like a red-headed stepchild. Then we got the Florida chicken, Mike Graham. You know, just another day on Easy Street. Next here, superstar Billy Graham. For anybody that doesn't know who that is, that's the bald-headed geek with a bunch of muscles and veins sticking around, and everybody seen me beat him here on national TV last week. Isn't that right?
Well, I have to admit that's true.
Next, we got Brian Blair, a man that calls himself Mr. B. But I don't call him nobody Mr. You know, he was probably my easiest victory. Next here, we got the great world champion, ex-world champion, Bobby Backlund. He didn't even stay around long enough. Next is my old arch rival, as he thinks. Actually, you know, it's just another victory for me, Billy Jack, but at least he had the guts to come back and take some more punishment. You know, all these people, may they rest in peace. And of course, here is my credits, the chart courtesy of Jesse Barr, Florida heavyweight champ, the star of the 80s. Now, maybe the ignorant people out there can understand by looking at this chart exactly what I'm trying to say. Maybe if they can take a hint off of this and... What are you doing out here? This is my time. I am the Florida heavyweight champion. You're not supposed to be out here. What are you doing?
Let me tell you, Jesse, I heard you mention my name. Did you not mention my name?
Hey, I didn't say anything about it. Hey, shut up, Gordon. Shut up, Gordon. This is my time. Gordon didn't hear anything. He doesn't know what I said. I know what I said.
You get out here and brag. He gets out here and brag, and he calls all these people ignorant.
Just tell the truth.
Yeah, why don't you tell the truth? You told everybody I was your easiest opponent. I heard that. If you're so tough and think you're so bad, Jesse, I respect you. Get in the ring. Show all these people out here. Show everybody. Show all these people that you can beat me. We got time. There's nothing between us but air right here. Go get your tights. Let's wrestle right here on TV. Let's prove it once and for all. If you beat me right here, I'll shake your hand. Let's go.
No.
Why?
You know, people in hell want ice water, so you can't have whatever you want. I'm the Florida heavyweight champion, and you know, I don't like your attitude. I don't like your attitude.
Don't put your hands on me.
Hey, I'm the Florida heavyweight champion. I'm the man of the hour, and as far as I'm concerned, you'll never get a Florida heavyweight shot. You hear that? Never.
Yeah, you think I'll never get it. You know as well as I do.
You got your shot, and that's your last shot.
Well, prove to me. Come on. Jump in the ring, Jesse Barr. I want to wrestle you. You know, Gordon, he might be the heavyweight champion for now, but things have a way of changing. You know, as far as I'm concerned, Jesse Barr, all he is the Florida heavyweight chicken. And I want to get him right here up on the ring. And just like you said, things have a way of changing. And as far as this thing, I don't know how long it took him to make up this chart, but as far as I'm concerned, this is a bunch of rubbish. You know that? Right? That's all this is. Bunch of rubbish. And I want Jesse Barr, I want him to wrestle me anywhere. He said I'll never get a Florida title shot. Well, you know people, Gordon, and I know people, and I'll make sure that he gets his name right along next to my name for the Florida heavyweight title because I know all these people want to see me with the belt, and sooner or later I'm going to have it.
Okay. Well, Jesse Barr did not appear to want to meet the challenge of Mr. B, but that's inevitable. It's got to happen. We'll be back. It's a pleasure to have with us today a gentleman who's an air personality and now promotions director for WSUN Radio here in the Bay Area, Jack Evans. Welcome aboard, Jack.
Thanks for having us this afternoon, Gordon. We appreciate it a whole bunch. And on behalf of 62 Country, WSUN, and to all the people at Championship Wrestling, we think you're doing an outstanding job on the Missing Children's campaign, and we sincerely hope for the holiday season a lot of these children will be found and back home with their families.
We certainly hope so, too, Jack. And speaking of Christmas time, you've got something for the children upcoming. In fact, it's in progress.
It's in progress right now, as a matter of fact. It's our third annual 62 Country Christmas Cash for Kids Radiothon. It runs 72 hours. We're right in the middle of it right now. And we urge fans of Championship Wrestling and our listeners to call the numbers that are on the screen right now. It doesn't matter the size of the pledge. Maybe you can afford $1, maybe you can afford $5. All the money that we raise during this radiothon goes to needy children here in the Tampa Bay area. All the money stays right here in the Bay. It does not go outside. It goes to all the thousands of kids who normally would not have a Christmas without your donation. It goes for toys and it goes for food. So we really urge you to help the kids by calling the numbers you see on the screen and helping Christmas Cash for Kids from 62 Country.
Thank you so very much, Jack Evans. And let's take a look now at our missing children. Now let's get to the ring in our next match. Getting set to go now with this match, Sweet Brown Sugar going up against Tony D'Amato. Waiting for that bell ring. The bell has rung, and it's Sweet Brown Sugar charging that corner very quickly. D'Amato braced himself for an onslaught, and then Sugar, good duck under, go behind, high waist, and takedown by Sweet Brown Sugar.
Well, Tony D'Amato there trying to do a set out to escape Sweet Brown Sugar, but Sweet Brown Sugar staying on him, riding him right down into the mat. The referee called for a break. Gives D'Amato time to get back to his feet, regroup, try a new form of attack. But Sweet Brown Sugar going for a double wrist lock takeover, coming up with the head scissors.
Tony D'Amato has tried to counter Sweet Brown Sugar, but has not been too effective thus far. Sweet Brown Sugar and Pistol Pet Watley have become quite a tag team combination as well. Another head scissors by Sweet Brown Sugar on Tony D'Amato. 1 fall, 10-minute time limit. Referee Pat Tanaka.
You know, one thing I believe every wrestler has learned to watch out for when they're wrestling Sweet Brown Sugar is his flying drop kick. Sweet Brown Sugar has the most powerful, fastest, and devastating drop kick of any wrestler that I have ever seen for all the years that I have been involved in professional wrestling. Very nice counter on the part of Sweet Brown Sugar. Always on the go, always moving. Coming out with a big body slam.
D'Amato coming up and right back into trouble with Sweet Brown Sugar. Gut wrench salto by Sweet Brown Sugar. The lateral float over, and it is D'Amato again coming back to his feet. An armbar now by Sweet Brown Sugar. Tony D'Amato has not had a chance to become really aggressive in this match. Tried to break things up here. Sugar stepped back away from it, keeps the armbar.
Well, it seems like every time D'Amato tries for a counter, Sweet Brown Sugar is far ahead of him, comes right back with his own counter. Well, there's a big forearm right upside the left upper jaw of Sweet Brown Sugar. And I think about all he's doing right now is getting Sweet Brown Sugar agitated and annoyed. Well, it looks like D'Amato made a mistake.
Off the rope, caught him in the midsection coming off the rope. D'Amato dropped to the canvas. High neck drop by Sweet Brown Sugar. D'Amato stunned. Coming up very slowly, and it is Sweet Brown Sugar. Wow! Look at the way he grapevines the leg as well as hooking the far leg and scores the pinfall after coming off of those ropes. And so, certainly an outstanding victory going to Sweet Brown Sugar. Joining me right now at the desk is the Southern Heavyweight Champion, Pistol Pez Watley. And let me very quickly congratulate Sweet Brown Sugar on a fine victory.
Fine victory there, Sweet Brown.
Thank you very much, Gordon.
I tell you what, we've been looking pretty good around here, and everybody been a little happy. And I tell you why. You know, I had an opportunity, Gordon, and you know it. to do a little bit of something for Florida. What about it, Gordon?
Yeah, you did. You got rid of a certain faction in Florida, as far as I'm concerned, that needed to be gotten rid of.
Well, thank you very much. And you know what, Gordon? We happen to have just a little bit of this to show y'all. I want to show all the people in Florida just exactly what we had the opportunity to do. And let's run that video.
I'll tell you what, let me just set it up for just a second, if we may. Pistol Fez Watley had just very successfully defended the Southern Heavyweight Championship when a gentleman of rather ill repute decided that he was going to jump in the ring and lend his opinion to the situation. And, well, let's take a look at it and we'll see what happened from that point on. There you can see Sir Oliver Humperdinck and taking advantage of you from behind.
That's right. I was wrestling in a match with that old Cobra, that King Cobra, and I beat him. And I tell you what, that Sir Oliver Humperdinck coming from behind, you know, he got me choking me like that, you know what I mean? I'm gasping for air, but I'm telling you what, George, I'm showing up mad. The referee gets knocked down in this Cobra. Oh, hit me with that chair, didn't do nothing but make me mad. And let me tell you now, I bumped him in the head, and here you go, ladies and gentlemen. My opportunity, I know I've been waiting on this one. I bust that Humperdinck upside the head, and I'm going to tell you what. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. He's a star please right now, and he gone. That's right, he done left. You know why? Because I done run him out of Florida. If you see him again, he's tougher than any man I know.
I'll tell you what, at this point, just right there, when the beating became so severe that, very frankly, we didn't feel it proper to bring it to you as it occurred, but nobody has seen or heard of Sir Oliver Humperdinck since that point in time, so...
Thank you very much, Gordon. I've been tagging up with my man, Sweet Brown, right here.
Right.
We've been taking care of business around here, and we're looking forward to doing a whole lot more.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You've got two great competitors here in Pistol Fez Watley, Sweet Brown Sugar. They're after Mr. Neidhart, Mr. Kruschev, and a few others, I might add. We'll be back. Championship Wrestling returns to Miami Beach in the Miami Beach Convention Center this coming Wednesday night, December 5th. That's Wednesday night, December 5th. Match time is 8 p.m. It's a double main event night of wrestling, and I do mean a lot of action. The U.S. Tag Team Championship goes on the line. Krusher, Kruschev, and Jim Neidhart taking on the challenge of Sweet Brown Sugar and Pistol Fez Watley. And in a lumberjack match, it'll be Dirty Dutch Mantel against the Saint. In a special challenge, Jesse Barr takes on Mr. B. Mark and Jay Youngblood go up against the Pretty Young Things. It'll be Mad Max against Rick McChord, King Cobra against Angelo Mosca Jr. I want to talk first to Brian Blair, Mr. B, about his match against Jesse Barr. After what we listened to Mr. Barr say, I think it's about time he's due for a lesson.
Well, you know, Jesse Barr, he got out here and he bragged about those pretty sunglasses that he got from France from Mr. Ric Flair. Well, you know, these are just a pair of Kmart sunglasses, but Jesse, they keep the sun out of my eyes and they serve the purpose. I want to tell you something. You call me boy, well, that's all right. You call me whatever you want to call me. But I'm going to tell you what, Wednesday night in Miami, there's not going to be any playing around, brother. It's going to be getting down, and I'm going to see you there.
Thank you so very much, Brian Blair. Dutch Mantel, a lumberjack match.
You know, I went up against a lot of guys a lot of different times that had all kind of different styles, and I knew the Saint was a man of many things, but I never knew one thing that he was a magician. Now, last Tuesday night in a baseball stadium, baby, I bet he hopped down the ring 8, 10, 12, 15 times. But I have cured the problem. Now, he's got two friends, two big Russians, or they call themselves Russian, Kruschev and Neidhart. Well, I got friends, too. I got Mark Youngblood. I got Jay Youngblood. I got Sweet Brown Sugar. I got Pez Watley. And they're all going to be around that ring, Saint, and they're all going to be keeping you in. I whooped a lot of men, but I swear to my mama, I'm never going to whoop a man like I'm going to whoop you in Miami, baby.
Thank you so very much, Dutch Mantel, and you'll see him in action this coming Wednesday night in Miami at the Miami Beach Convention Center. Well, let's listen to these comments now from Jesse Barr and the Cuban Connection.
I want to tell all you ignorant Miami chickens that you're going to have the pleasure of seeing your champion again this Wednesday night. You better teach that boy, Brian Blair, to have a little more respect for his superiors. You know, I only have to defend this belt once every 30 days. And unless he shows respect, it's not going to be against somebody like him. And after the match, Brian Blair, you're going to be calling me mister. Funky Miami this! Funky Miami that! Hey, Krusher, Does anybody in Russia talk like that?
If anybody talked like that, or if anybody looked like Pistol Pez, Watley, and Sweet Brown Sugar, they'd be locked up immediately. And Dutch Mantel, it sounds like you're kind of running scared because the Russians are coming, aren't they?
Miami Beach Convention Center, vamos señalar a todos los pobres cubanos que no tienen dinero que tienen los otros, que Dutch Mantel, yo sí, te voy a meter en ese whip, donde el sol no te da. ¿Tú sabes lo que le quiero decir? Te voy a meter en el whip en el ojo, ¿ven?
I have with me right now Pistol Pez, Watley, and Sweet Brown Sugar, and it's going to be quite a night.
Wouldn't I just like to say to them Russians right there, that you know, when you get down in Miami, baby, down in the pit, that it ain't Russia that you at, man. You got to understand that you in Miami in the good old U.S. of A., and we're going to be rocking and rolling on your head. And Saint, get ready for a barbecue. And you, Jim Neidhart, ain't no telling what Sweet Brown Sugar got in store for you.
We gonna whoop them from the beach to Liberty City.
Oh, yeah.
And we gonna come acting and doing what we want to do, big as we want to and better than we should. And it's just like I told everybody, Miami, see it like a native. And here's the two wildest natives this side of the Nile River. Woo!
It's going to happen Wednesday night, Miami Beach. One fall, 10-minute time limit now. Dirty Dutch Mantel going out against Rick McChord. And it's Mantel with a quick spin under takedown into an armbar. Mantel, I'll tell you what, he is a wiry, tough individual.
Well, you know, pound for pound, he's just about as tough as I've ever seen. Man, he is everywhere at once, and when the going gets rough, it comes with a fist or a boot or clubs or sticks or whips. Dutch Mantel is right there with the very best of them. You see, he's moving very swiftly, cat-like moving, with that nice leg dive and trip up there.
All right, it's Mantel now, keeping that leg imprisoned, and so McChord, who is indeed a very, very tough competitor, now finds himself in a single leg Boston crab, but manages to make it over to the ring ropes, and that'll force the break. Mantel, who we've mentioned before, but in case you're seeing him for the first time in action, began his wrestling career and then had it interrupted as he served some 11 months and 27 days in Vietnam in combat. And he brings to the ring a vast amount of experience and an attitude. Brother, he will win, and he will win no matter what it takes. He'll pier six it, he'll wrestle, you name it, he'll go for it.
Well, plus he is a very patriotic American. When the Russians were out here spouting off against the Americans, Dutch Mantel came out here and he stood his ground against both the Russians and the Cuban. You see this man right now, Dutch Mantel, it seems to always be in control. He never really loses his memory. He's able to control himself, thus staying right on top of the match. This hip lock takedown, he's putting a lot of pressure here. You notice how he was leaning over, putting his weight onto Rick McChord, wearing him out, making him breathe harder.
McChord off the ropes, Mantel gives him a high backdrop. And so McChord's got some problems coming up, and Mantel was right back on top of him. And now McChord exploding on Mantel, caught him in the eyes that time. Smashing his head into the turnbuckle, and again, using that thumb to the eye. Mantel, Irish whipped into that far turnbuckle, and now it's McChord. Right hands to the side of the jaw and under the ear, and it's Mantel firing back. Mantel lashes out with a foot. Mantel catches him with a right hand. And Mantel catches a perfect power slam, well executed. Mantel up on that second ring. Caught him with an elbow into the chest area. Got the pinfall. Got the pinfall. Dutch Mantel. Wait a second. Wait a minute. The Saint just charged in the ring. Caught Mantel from behind. And Neidhart and Kruschev outside the ring. With some kind of clubs in their hands. And the Saint in a Pearl Harbor on Dutch Mantel has got him in trouble. And as Pistol Pez Watley came out there and others, it's Neidhart and Kruschev, and they're holding the wall here. They're holding the wall. And meanwhile, Dutch Mantel is in trouble in the ring as they continue to hold the wall, and it's the Saint wrapping that bullwhip around the neck of Dutch Mantel. And but he suddenly bails out. And Pistol Pez, Watley, Sweet Brown Sugar, and Brian Blair rendering aid to a Pearl Harbor Dutch Mantel. And, well, he's going to have to get some medical help. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll be back. Championship Wrestling will be held tonight in Nassau, New Providence Nassau Stadium. Match time is 8 p.m. And Championship Wrestling will be returning this coming Wednesday night to Miami Beach in the Miami Beach Convention Center. I'd like to point out, of course, that Championship Wrestling will be returning to the West Palm Beach Auditorium after the Christmas holidays. That'll be after the Christmas holidays. Now then, this coming Wednesday night in Miami Beach, the U.S. Tag Team Championship goes on the line. Krusher, Kruschev, and Big Jim Neidhart defending against Sweet Brown Sugar and Pistol Pez Watley. In the second main event, there will be a lumberjack match. Dirty Dutch Mantel against the Saint. And in a special challenge match, Jesse Barr faces Mr. B, Brian Blair. Mark and Jay Youngblood go up against the new tag team, the Pretty Young Things. It'll be Mad Max against Rick McChord, and King Cobra wrestles against Angelo Mosca Jr. All of this action will take place this coming Wednesday night in Miami Beach at the Convention Center. Match time is 8 p.m.
From the Atlantic to the Pacific, no dealers as terrific as Terry.
Terry's terrific.
The best new cars, the best new trucks, and prices that will save you bucks.
Terry's terrific.
No dealers as terrific as Terry.
Terry's terrific.
When it comes to customer satisfaction, no dealer's as terrific as Terry Ford in Pompano Beach.
Norelco Rotatract, the shaving machine that challenges the world. Every blade, every electric, in closeness, comfort, speed, and performance. Only Norelco holds it.
Referee don't have to give one man out on either side. There's the Mad Max stepping outside the ring, and match point getting underway. This will be the first time I have had an opportunity to see the King Cobra in action. And he's starting off with a resounding bang.
He is indeed. He's wasting no time at all on Medina as he open-handed chop now makes the tag with Mad Max. And we've heard a lot about this fellow Mad Max as well. Max brings him up, presses him above his head. Good grief.
Wow, that man is powerful.
And he's got an extremely powerful upper torso, no question about that. Got him coming off the ropes. He is about as methodical a man as I've ever seen in the ring. He is completely deliberate in every move that he makes.
Well, this team of the Mad Max and King Cobra is the first time we've had them here on Championship Wrestling, and they are making quite an impression just hardly even minutes into the match. They are just making mincemeat of their opponents. Their opponents haven't had a chance. Their methods of wrestling may not be the most conventional. It seems like they are getting the job done, just barely staying ahead of the rules, staying ahead of the account from the referee.
Medina needs to get over and tag up. No question about it. Ellis has not had a chance to get into the ring yet. King Cobra now punishing Medina, and again keeps him away from getting over to tag up. So they're completely wearing down Alex Medina. Again, it's Mad Max into the ring, a massive individual.
Well, that looked like a karate thrust to the throat, which was on the blind side of the referee.
Tag was made. Terry Ellis moves in there. It was indeed, in my opinion, too, buddy, a thrust to the throat. But it's Mad Max delivering a knee to the abdominal wall and then a forearm across the back of Terry Ellis, and Mad Max fought him head on. That was like running into a freight train.
Well, Terry Ellis isn't faring any better than did Alex Medina. They've just been completely annihilated in the ring here. This team of the Mad Max and King Cobra are quite impressive. They're an awesome tag team.
King Cobra, an extremely impressive competitor. And he is wasting no time at all in putting a lot of hurt on one Terry Ellis. Atomic knee drop on Ellis. That jams those 26 vertebrae. Didn't allow the pin. Had the opportunity, in my opinion, to score that pinfall. Did not allow the pin. So King Cobra's got a mean streak in him just as well. And again, he tags up with Mad Max. And they have a excellent strategy figured. They're keeping their opponent toward their side of the ring. There's only been one tag out between the team of Medina and Ellis. And yet Mad Max and King Cobra have been tagging in and out with great regularity.
Well, when King Cobra would not allow the pin there, that shows the sadistic nature of this man. And apparently the Mad Max has that same sadistic streak. This is where a wrestler will not only try to defeat his opponent, he wants to inflict pain and punishment. He wants to make an impression on the wrestler that they will never forget. And Mad Max right now is just completely wiping out his opponent, very casually walking over, tagging to the King Cobra, having this match under complete control and domination. Their opponents just, they don't stand a chance. They are so far outclassed.
Cobra very proud of himself as he tried a couple of Sundays on Alex Medina, and now it is King Cobra, an Irish whip on Terry Ellis coming off the ropes, caught him with the back of the elbow. Ellis dropped to the canvas once again. So King Cobra and Mad Max in complete and total domination in this match.
And the referee being virtually helpless, he starts counting, but they always get out before the 5 count. What a powerful back body slam that was.
Threw that man right over the top of his head and the shoulders.
Very vicious individual, this Mad Max. It's obvious to see why they call him the Mad Max. Has no regard at all for his opponent, just out there to inflict this punishment. They are toying there with their man like a rag doll now.
And again, it's King Cobra catching Medina, going back on Terry Ellis again. So they're not satisfied. It looks to me like they'd like to beat both of them. King Cobra caught him a roundhouse right. That one came out of the backyard. And again, he tags up. So Medina has had one opportunity to tag. Ellis has had one opportunity. Well, Ellis has had no opportunity to get back and tag up. Backs to play. Drives the knee into the chest again of Terry Ellis. Off the ropes. Ellis was able to partially block that. But it's King Cobra moving back in. Overhooks the head. And a DDT. A DDT by King Cobra, an easy float over lateral press. Count of 3, it is all over. It is all over as King Cobra and Mad Max score certainly quite a victory indeed over this combination of Terry Ellis and Alex Medina. And once again, the two of them now bringing them both up pile drivers, adding insult to injury here. And this is as vicious a team as I have ever seen in action. Very methodical, very calm in their deliberations, but obviously out to do only one thing and one thing alone, and that's to hurt somebody. Wait just a second.
Hey, come on, say one thing. Let me say one thing, Jordan Dutch. You got to go. Hey, man, you're hurt. Let's go on to the hospital.
No, let me say one thing. What I got to say.
Get him in a minute. Get him in a minute now.
If that Saint is back there watching me anywhere, I want him to get word of one thing. A pre-planned attack, I knew what it was. He come out there, he brought his 2 goons with him. But let me tell you one thing, Saint.
You may have tried to knock me down, baby, but it's going to take a bigger man than you to knock me down. I don't care if I got to go through Neidhart or that Kruschev for the U.S. Saint, baby. Saint before it's all over with, baby. I'm going to own you, baby. I'm going to own you. Okay. You said my state, let's go. I said my state. You tell the state, let's go. Come on now.
Oh, yeah, and I have to agree with him. Obviously, that issue of the Russians charging the way they did in the Saint, they had that in the back of their mind all the way along. But obviously, the battle may be fought, but the war isn't over. We'll be right back.
Get ready to meet the all singing, all dancing, all new, one and only Steve Martin.
Do it! He's do it! Little birdie's in the trees, do it!
Did you ever see with Bernadette Peters as the little shop girl who tap dances her way into his heart. It's Steve Martin like you've never seen it in the kind of musical that dreams are made of. Pennies from Heaven.
Sunday night at 8 on WCIX Channel 6.
We asked hundreds of women to use this leading therapeutic lotion, but didn't tell them what it was. We had the same women use new Curel skin lotion, but didn't tell them what it was. And more than 7 out of every 10 women preferred Curel, told us Curel was better.
Better at ending dry skin. Moisturizes longer. Feels better on my skin. And it ends dry skin.
New Curel skin lotion.
It's better at ending dry skin.
It's the savings tradition. Jefferson Ward's Christmas is Coming sale starts Sunday at 10 a.m. You'll find Christmas savings in Jefferson Ward's newly expanded jewelry department, like 25 to 33% off Mallorca pearl necklaces, bracelets, and earrings. A 30-inch necklace is only $21.99. Save 21 to 29% off 14-karat gold zirconium pendants and earrings. 1-carat earrings are just $24.99. Men's and ladies' Hellbros quartz watches just $39.99. Shop Jefferson Ward for the best jewelry values. Sale starts Sunday at 10 a.m. Be there.
Of the leading monthly relief products, you know how many are formulated to relieve the 3 problems so many of us have? Only one: Pamprin. In fact, a panel of medical experts appointed by the Food and Drug Administration found the ingredients in Pamprin safe and effective for cramps, temporary water gain, and simple monthly tension. So, for relief from all 3, take this: Pamprin.
Real relief from cramps, water gain, and simple monthly tension. Pamprin.
Wahoo McDaniels getting set to move out against Big Bob Owens. I hear 2 fellas about the same size, about the same height, and it's going to be interesting to see which one can take the measure of the other.
I'll tell you, Wahoo McDaniel has practically become a legend. He is well known throughout the United States, former Miami Dolphins football player, excelled in professional football, has excelled in professional wrestling throughout the world. And there was a side headlock takedown. It is bringing the weight of his whole body right down on top of Bob Owens. Then putting the pressure on Bob Owens, rolling him over, trying for a pin. Wahoo McDaniel able to raise that shoulder up and pull him right back over into the rope, and of course the break.
Into the ropes now, and that forces the break. Wahoo McDaniel steps back. Good clean break.
You have to be very careful with a man like Wahoo McDaniel. He's a very explosive individual. It's very hard to hurt this man. See his big resounding tomahawk chop just slap across the upper chest of Bob Owens. That knocks a lot of air out of you. These are some powerful chops going in there on his chest.
Well, the upper body of Bob Owens beginning to redden considerably as those tomahawk chops have taken their toll on him. And Wahoo McDaniel, very, very short temper on this man.
And if anybody wants to turn the match into a fight, I'll tell you, Wahoo McDaniel is more than ready, willing, and able to fight it out with anybody. He can be an excellent barroom brawler at any time, as Bob Owens is seeing right now. He's got that wind knocked out of him. Here's Wahoo coming up with his reverse chin lock and just putting on that pressure. The referee checking to make sure it's on the sides of the throat and not in front, which would constitute a chokehold. You see Bob Owens is reaching for the rope. Finally, it looks like he got a hand on the ropes, which, of course, will force a break.
Owens in a lot of trouble now. Wahoo McDaniel stands back, giving Owens plenty of breathing room. Owens back on his feet, but, brother, he is really favoring that back. Full arm drag and twist now by Wahoo McDaniel. Short chop into the throat. Another chop that puts Owens back to the canvas. McDaniel is an all-around sportsman, I might add. Scuba diver, a fisherman, a hunter, you name it, he does it.
You know, as you can very well see, the punches that Bob Owens was throwing against the jaw of Wahoo McDaniel didn't have much effect on him. What makes the man tough is the man that can take punishment, and Wahoo McDaniel is double tough. He can take a lot of punishment as well as dish it out. That's what really separates the men from the boys, and Wahoo is all man.
No question about that. Big Bob Owens. Ooh. That almost took his head off. Caught him with a shot coming off those ropes. So, Wahoo McDaniel, a very quick picture here of going up against a big and tough man in Big Bob Owens, but Wahoo McDaniel is more than equal to the challenge. Let's see if we can get him over here for just a second and welcome this man back to the great state of Florida. Here's a fellow who is indeed a world traveler. He competes all around the world. Welcome back to Florida, and quite a victory, sir.
Gordon, thank you. It's good to be back to Florida.
This Big Bob Owens is a big fellow and is matching you about pound for pound in height and obviously the measure of experience took the measure on him.
Well, Gordon, I think you know what I know. I'm the U.S. heavyweight champion now, the reigning U.S. heavyweight champion. And I travel all over the world now, and I try to defend this belt to the best of my ability. And 90% of the guys are bigger than me. But maybe 90% of them may not be as smart as me. I don't know. But I'm here, and you know, I want you people to take a good look, because I think you're going to be seeing a lot of me here in Florida. You know, I played with the Miami Dolphins, middle linebacker with the world champions at one time, and a lot of people can't say that. But I can stand here and say that I was at one time. Now I'm the U.S. heavyweight champion. That means that I'm the #1 contender for the NWA world belt that Ric Flair holds. And you've got Kruschev, you've got Neidhart here, 2 other big guys. Well, let me tell you something. The more the merrier, the bigger the better. And like you said, Gordon, I think I was with you in the Army the other night. I wrestled that Ronnie Garvin, the national heavyweight champion. And I gave him all he wanted. And I'm here in Florida to give him anybody, any place, anytime, all they want.
In other words, that championship is on the line, an open contract.
That's right. I think that's the only kind of champion you can be. An open champion. And I like to believe that Flair's that way. And I like to believe that I'm that way. That I don't think there's a man in wrestling can beat me on any given day. I'm going to put that belt up anytime, any place. And Flair, as long as I've got this belt, when you come, no matter if it's here in Florida, Canada, Japan, Australia, you're going to have to be the man to put the contract up, and you're going to have to give me that shot, because I am the #1 contender.
Thank you so very much, Wahoo McDaniel. It's great to have him back here in the state of Florida. Obviously, we're going to be seeing a lot more of him as the days roll on. The U.S. heavyweight champion. My thanks to Wahoo, and also now speaking on behalf of Buddy Cope, this will be Gordon Soley saying be sure to tune us in again next week. Until then, so long from the Sunshine State.